Hey, check this out. It's fake. Dave here with Saddleback Leather, and I've noticed a lot of people knocking off my bags. And I thought maybe they could use a little help in case they're missing some of the parts. So I want to show you how to knock off one of my bags well. If you want to make money knocking off my bag, you're going to want to know about these materials here. This is actually the bottom half of the hide. This is like the genuine leather. They have the full grain, top grain, genuine bonded. Okay, bonded is all the crap. What they do is they shave off the top half and they sell it to people like myself, and they shave off the bottom half and they sell it to people like you. This is about, I don't know, 25% of the price or half the price of the leather we use. So you'll save a lot of money here. Now you have this leather. Now this is a decent leather from the look of it, but check this out. In the middle, it has this white line in here, which means it's only been tumbled for like an hour just to get the color on, and then it's over. They don't care about the middle of the hide, that if it dries and cracks and all that sort of thing, but all they care is about the look. And so what you do, after you make the bag, you can polish the edges and kind of stain the white brown. Now the problem is, with this one, hold on a sec, let me show you. Hi, I'm on your shoulder, I'm on your hip. Now, this is where money is really saved, okay? Now this is pressed suede. Now this has been like plasticized. And they can make it look like any leather you want. So you can make it, you can take this and you can put it on or inside of the bag, and they'll never know the difference. As long as you say, made with full grain leather. And you can, as long as a little piece is full grain, a pocket or something like that, you're not lying. But of course, that never bothered you before. So now if you tumble full grain leather, just regular leather, our leather, it would end up with like bubbles all over it. Those are the grains popping out. This is very even. That's how you can tell it's genuine leather, that looking like full grain leather, is that all the grain is very even. So check this out. This is vinyl. I bought a chair once and it said made with full grain leather. I thought, oh, this is beautiful, and before I knew. And then when this stuff faded and the leather stayed good, I realized that it was vinyl, and I started seeing vinyl in these little corners and edges and stuff. But really, it's vinyl, and they'll never know the difference for a year or two. This, my friend, has been stamped to look like leather. They can make any vinyl to look like any leather you want. And so just ask the vinyl place, and I'm sure you probably already have the contacts there, and you can use vinyl, which is like a 20th the price or less of what we pay for ours. Now, this is what we use for our hides, or for our bags. Now, this is full grain leather, not top even. This is full grain leather. It's got all the scars and brands and markings. It is gorgeous. But you know what? If some slick salesman comes in from the tannery saying, you know, you should really use this leather. I mean, you don't go for that cheap stuff. Use this, it'll last longer. Run from the guy. So anyway, this is the leather we use, and those are some leathers that will save you a ton of money. Since I do the designing for you.
Well, I think it'd be a little wider here. It'd be a little wider.
Hey Dave, the music is too loud. Can you please turn it off?
Yeah, I think so.
Está loco.
You're probably wondering, when you were cutting all the seams apart and reverse engineering everything, you're wondering, why did he do these things? Well, tell you what, I want to walk you through this bag and the construction so you can make it just the way we do it exactly, and you'll understand a lot of the things and the areas that you can cut some corners on and save some money on. Now this thing has about, I think it was about 52 different pieces, and so to cut all those out by hand would make the bag incredibly expensive. So what you want to do is to have these small pieces cut out by dies, little anchors and the handles and that sort of thing. And depending on the thing that you're knocking off, the bigger the piece, it's probably better to cut it out by hand, because the dies tend to deform over time with all the pressure. Now, here's a way you can save some money, by the way, is the bigger the piece of leather, the more waste you're going to have from the hide. So the smaller the pieces, the better. So what you're going to want to do, you're going to want to have a piece like right across here, hidden, a second piece stitched right across here, so you can use some of these little scrap pieces. And then you take it and you lay this bar across here that's matched up with the holes that you put into this piece, and then you glue every little bit of it. Now the glue is important. You want to use the good glue that doesn't kind of like deactivate at a certain temperature, but that's here nor there. Now you can use different grades of pigskin too, by the way, or even vinyl. You want to do the vinyl. Now check this out. 2 gussets here. Just a solid piece all the way around. I've seen people knock off my bag having a piece cut right here. So you have a small piece here, then they fold a piece around here to the middle, they have a seam here, and then they have a seam right here and a seam here. So you can get several pieces and then you stitch them together, and you know, who knows the difference? People just think it's design when really you're just trying to save leather. Now we don't do that because the weakest point is the seam. And so you want to make sure that you we want to make sure we have as few seams as possible. But since that won't matter, you'll save a lot of money in materials, because I know labor is probably not that expensive for you. So some of these processes are going to take some really strong adult hands. Vámonos, niños. But as you well know, you don't have to have adults for everything. Okay, ¿quién sabe qué es un desmontador? Just kidding. It's actually bring your kid to work day here. Whoa! Whoa! So when it comes to the thread, I want to give you 2 tips. Use cotton thread, which I couldn't even find any because it was so cheap. That's kind of against the rules here in the area. And also use really thin thread in the bobbin. The polyester thread, the Saddleback thread, is what people also use on the sails of ships when you're crossing the ocean and you have to have it last. On a parachute, work boots, you know, that sort of thing, use the continuous filament polyester thread. It's really expensive. It's like twice as expensive at least as the nylon thread. You know what? It doesn't even matter. So just use cotton. You'll save a ton of money. So one of the things that you're going to want to avoid to save money and time is to not put in the polyester strips that are inside of the leather. So at Saddleback, what we do is we put in a polyester strip inside of the leather in any area that's going to stretch or that's going to get any kind of stress, because the leather stretches. But the cool thing is polyester doesn't. So what we do is we put some in right here in the tongue. We put some in right here on the buckle, the center buckle. We don't put them on the sides because they don't, stress. We put them on the handle anchors on both sides. We put them on this here. We put them on this piece where you convert it into a backpack. We put them on the side. All these D-rings, because these get pulled when you attach things to them. So any area at all that's going to get stress, we put a polyester strip. But of course, you don't have to do that. Now the hardware is where you can really make some money. So like what Saddleback uses, we use a stainless steel 316. Now there's stainless steel 303, 304, there's even lower than that. And that stuff will rust, but the stainless 316 doesn't rust. But that is so expensive and it is so extremely high quality that you're not going to want to use it. So what you're going to want to do is get some nickel plated stuff. So you can nickel plate like plastic. You can nickel plate just sort of junk pot metal. You could even nickel plate your crack pipe. In any area where there is going to be stress, you're going to want to put a rivet. If you notice right here, we reinforce the stitching several times right here. You don't need to do that. That's a waste of time because time is money. And then we put a rivet here, which is a waste of time for you. If they're buying a Saddleback bag, that's what they're buying it for, is for the reinforcements and the strength. But if they're buying one of your bags, they don't really care about that much, or they haven't really thought about it. So you can save a lot of rivets. the belts. You can save a lot of money here. This is what we do. We have two long, continuous pieces of leather glued and sewn together all the way around the bag to here. It's expensive to do that. A better way for you would be to take these pieces, all the scrap pieces of leather, and splice them all together. You could have maybe 7 different pieces to make up one belt. Instead of just having like a straight cut, straight up and down, like just cutting it this way, what you want to do is cut it this way. Cut the edges of the leather at a sharp angle, like 45 to 60 degrees. And then when you lay them on top of each other, the tip here is real thin, real fine, and you can hardly even tell. I mean, it is a great way of doing it. And so you can do it that way, or you can only give one piece of leather instead of 2. Now it won't be as strong, but they won't know the difference. They won't know it was supposed to be that way. And you will end up saving more money than you would ever make with those gold fillings and the jewelry that you get when you dig up those graves. And get this, you can also remove this and use it as a belt. It's removable. So I really hope that with what I showed you today and all the shortcuts and everything, that knocking off this bag will be easier than beating your wife and kids, especially if you have a large family. Think of all the money you're gonna have. It's gonna be awesome. Because isn't that what it's all about anyway?